This is my face on your screen, and my face on your screen made a video a couple of years ago called "Is Berklee Worth It? Your Questions Answered?" And it was a whole bunch of my friends who are currently either graduating from Berklee or in Berklee at the time, answering questions that you guys had about the Berklee experience. It's been almost 4 years since I had my last class at Berklee, and I thought it would be a very appropriate time to come back and sort of do a recap on where I've been for the past 4 years and how my life has been post-Berklee, sort of looking back at that video and the questions that you all had. Immediately graduating Berklee, there was this pressure to go to one of 3 cities, because being surrounded by a bunch of songwriting students and teachers and musicians in general, there are sort of 3 major places in the US that everybody wants to go, and that's New York, Nashville, and Los Angeles. I put the names of those 3 cities on a giant big whiteboard and I stared at them for days and came up with a list of pros and cons as to why I would want to move there or not move there. Because I thought, I have to go to one of these 3 places or I will fail. And I ultimately came to the decision that I wanted to stay in Boston because a good friend of mine and I set up a non-profit organization called Rockstars for Life. Our entire mission with Rockstars for Life was to write songs with terminally ill children in hospitals in the Boston area, and to produce those songs and to sort of give them the rock star treatment. And it was about that time that I very much came to realize that what I wanted to pursue was not anything based on somebody else's path. The path that I wanted to choose was gonna have to be my own, and the success that I wanted was gonna have to be my own. Because although many of us have idols and people that we look up to as inspirations, the paths that they followed were theirs, and no matter how hard you try to emulate somebody else's path, even if it yields similar results, it won't be the same for you. Now in the meantime, I was also trying to figure out how on earth to make money as a musician graduating from Berklee, and the visa I was on restricted me to basically just having musician jobs, which was a blessing and a terrifying prospect all at the same time. Because all the while, there is that stereotype of the starving artist sort of breathing down your neck. So I managed to get a hodgepodge of very random jobs, everything from performing cover sets at bars and restaurants to writing songs for EDM groups in the Netherlands and children's theater groups in New York. It was amazing and insane. On a side note, the non-profit organization that we set up was actually funded by the Berklee Alumni Grant, which was an enormous blessing. And so coming straight out of the gate, I felt very supported by the Berklee community. And one thing that I want to briefly talk about is that at Berklee, not only will you get an incredible education, but what you're getting access to is the Berklee network. The fact that you are surrounded by people who are going to be going out into the music world with you, and they are your peers and the people you're going to be working with and producing and writing for. So that's one of the incredible blessings of going to Berklee. While I was still in Boston, I met my future wife, who is amazing. She's sitting on the couch, and I'm gonna say that so she just knows that I think she's amazing. We met while I was still in Boston, and after we got married, we decided to move to San Francisco because she wanted to study drama therapy, and one of the best places that she could study that for in the US was actually here. And initially I had a moment of panic because I thought, oh God, that's not one of the 3 major cities that as a graduate of Berklee I should go to. Not realizing that life exists outside of the 3-city bubble. The music scene in San Francisco is incredible. I felt so nurtured here and my audience has grown. I've met some amazing musicians. I've made albums and written with people, and I'm close enough to LA that I'm able to take Megabus down and write with people down there. And so my musical career at the moment is incredibly varied. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I would give you is that to be a successful musician often means you have to figure out how to be as useful as possible. And the sort of stuff that I'm doing at the moment is writing commercial spots for TV and documentaries. I've co-written several EPs with Berklee grads throughout the country over Skype. It's a very, very varied profession. Again, that's my path. Yours may not look the same, but one of the biggest takeaways I had from that was I have to have my path. So to those of you who are looking at Berklee or in Berklee right now, I hope that the videos that you guys found on my channel and started conversations on have helped you get to where you are now. And I would love to hear from you about how you're doing now, if you've graduated, what that experiences was like for you. And it's so good to make one of these videos now that I'm actually out of Berklee, because I made quite a few while I was there. And I now realize that I didn't have much of an idea what I was talking about. At the time I felt like I did, and now I'm sort of looking back and reassessing my entire experience. It was absolutely amazing. If you're considering going, absolutely check out the syllabus, because I realized that it was a place for me when I could not find a single class that I didn't want to take. It was amazing. Anyway, this has been my face on your screen. I'm gonna go back to drinking tea from a mug with a chihuahua on it, because who doesn't want to drink tea from a mug with a chihuahua on it? It doesn't matter if you can't see the chihuahua. The point is that I'm actually drinking tea and he's staring me down the whole time.